So, good evening, guys, and welcome to another Thursday evening OTL realistic performance. This evening it is round 15, and we head to the hills of Belgium. First things first, as always, we like to get a rundown of what card every day is in this evening, it being realistic performance. So, the grid for this week is Mikey and Nick in the Haas, Skarma and Jay in the Williams, Mr. Raging Fingers both in Alfa Romeo, Bossman and F. Lewis and Aston Martins, Dixie and SPW in the Alpines, Mick and Chubby in the Alfa T's, Danny and Mitsima in the Ferraris, Ranger and Clark in the McLarens, Pedro and Ryan in the Mercedes, and Volks and Nico in the Red Bulls. Do we have everybody in? I'm not so sure. So Adam, if you are watching, yes, I have no idea about Pedro. Let me get a rundown of the standings, of course, because they matter a lot. So Mikey now leads the way in the championship, 269 points. We've got ENTXJ up to P2 and 243. Then F. Lewis down to P3, our championship leader, to well into the halfway point of the season. He's now in 233. Ryan Sam at P4 and 216. Chubby Slug P5 on 204. Then we get SPW P6 on 192. Mr. Rage P7 on 187. Ranger P8 on 184. Dixie P9 on 176, Nick P10 on 164, Pedro P11 on 146, Clarky P12 on 135, Fingers P13 on 100, Volks Bob also on 100, he's on P14, Danny Boy P15 on 98, Mitsima P16 on 93, Skarma P17 on 88, Nico Rosberg P18 on 79, Bossman P19 on 76, Mick P20 on 51, and then we've got Mick, Helmade, Charlie, Mitch, Rob, Shiv, Scooby Stew, and myself on that grid, which is rather strange to see, so we should be going any moment. I don't know who we still wait on. SPW gets back in as this internet started doing its normal shenanigans. So let's see who's in the chat. Mikey, Mr. J, Mr. Mick, F. Lewis, SPW, Nick, and Skarma. Good evening, good evening. Yes, Nick, of all the tracks you could have been in the Haas, this is probably one of the circuits you would not want to be in. That's the signal to ready up, so everybody should go now. Have we got Rob Wells in this evening? He is, he's in the Alfa Romeo. Is Rob Wells full time now? I wonder. So I'm going to grab a little bit of chocolate, chat, just because I can. Some chocolate is in order. So, we've had one wet race, one dry race this week. What does the third race of the week bring us? Could we see some different conditions? Of course, full qualifying on a Thursday, so in terms of qualifying, if it is wet, you have lots of time to find your feet. Sorry, chap, I needed that chocolate. So, Mikey leads the way in the championship. Jay not too far away either. Two drivers have been in some good form. SPW's made a late charge up the table as well. And I think it's a championship of maybe what could have been for SPW, but it's not over, still a few to go. There's only 70 points in it. So you never know. Good evening, Shiv. I hope you're well. There is space if you wish, unless there's, I don't actually know if there's guys joining during qualifying. So let's get some data up. Spa, a track I'm not very fond of, although the pace was rather good last night. It's not a track I enjoy to drive too much. You can see SPW onto that medium. Good evening, Adam. I meant to ask you in the chat, was it the butter-kissed orange chocolate toffee popcorn I was to try? If so, I have a bag of it, and it's rather nice. So Jay heading out in his Williams. Playing some games with Mr. Adams, so it's somewhere in the 140s this lap. Jay just going for a little excursion on the grass. And we have a few cars now out on track. Jay, F. Lewis, Ranger, Mick and Danny Boy all heading out on the circuit. So Jay's going to be the first man to open a lap. They will all go on board. And we will watch as he heads up to bus stop on his out lap. Or the bus stop chicane, to give it its full name. On the soft third gear, DRS opens straight to fourth, get the traction out the last corner. And onto the first lap he goes, braking at just about 18 metres here. Tuck up nicely to the apex at turn 1. Then head down towards Eau Rouge and Radion for the first time. It should be absolutely flat if the setup's right, no issue at all. Tuck up over that inside curve nicely, and then a nice shallow line up through the corner, DRS open, then heading down the Kemmel Straight for the first time. Up into the first real testing point of the lap. How much of the curbs do you dare to use? I think curb compliance is huge at Spa. You take a big chunk at turn 5. I would agree, but then I have got to fancy SPW to be quite quick in the Alpine. But I honestly think the man to watch is going to be Mr. Ryan Sam and that Mercedes. I think he sets the pace by a long way this evening. Should be quite a comfortable one for Ryan tonight. He's got the luck of the draw in this season. It's his first time in the car. I think so. Let's go back to Jay. He's still on that lap. Heading up towards bus stop to close out the lap at the moment. I'm not going to lie, Shiv, I just casually went on to the Ryan Sam like I knew he was in that car, but I didn't actually notice himself. I was looking through the grid while I was saying. But Jay's going to set the pace on a 145.3, and that's, considering the Williams car, that is not too bad at all. Ryan Sam absolutely lighting up these sectors, but they've got some cars further ahead. I think this is F. Lewis heading down towards bus stop. There is Bossman just ahead, but he's on an out lap, and then I think it is Ranger just coming up behind F. Lewis. So F. Lewis tucks it up nicely into bus stop, goes towards the line. It's going to be a 45.3 for F. Lewis. He does go into pole position with a big delay, but then Ranger takes that by 43.90. Ranger could be one to watch in the McLaren. Ranger could be very, I think it could be a very strong, good race between Ranger and Ryan. Danny Boy invalidated his lap. Oh, Mitsumak gets away with one there at Puyon. He was a lucky boy. And Mitsumak got a little bit of traffic ahead. Volkswagen, I think, is on a lap as well. He is. Oh, that was the wrong car I went to there. Apologies, chat. Apologies. Ryan Sam now onto a 43.4. He puts half a second, or just under half a second on Ranger at the moment. But Ranger is usually very good at winding up his qualifying, although so is Ryan, so I think that maybe sets the precedent. But where can Mitsumak go in his Ferrari? He goes up to P5, it's a 45.8. And how is SBW getting on? He's out in the medium compound tyres, so it'll be interesting to get a reference. His pace carries very good speed, and he gets an invalid. That's a horrible invalidation there. On the fastest section of the track, we get Dixie and the other Alpine. He's just come through bus stop chicane. He'll pop his DRS open, and he'll set a mid 45. Also, it's a 45.5 for Dixie, and already the grid looking rather close. Chubby Slug, next man, Alpha Tauri this evening. I think Matoman could be pretty strong, honestly, and he's Alpha T. But a track where, his Matoman takes too much of that inside curb at turn 3 and turn 4, sorry, and that'll just make him abort that lap pretty much. Danny Boy about to set an actual time. Is he going to get one on the board? He does. It's a 46.4 for Danny. Goes into P9 at the moment. And who's that fired himself up the order? It was Mick in the Alpha Tauri, a 45.2. That's a solid lap there for Mick. Looking quite racy this evening. Mataman's now fully invalidated that lap. Let's see how Scarmy gets on in the Williams. P4 last week. Very strong result at Hungary. A little bit of a wobble in the Williams. I think tonight for the guys in the slower car, it's just going to be staying in the train. If you can stay in the DRS train, I think it's going to be to a big advantage. It'll neutralise some of that straight line speed that you do lose. To go on board with Scum as he comes up through Rouge the first time, and he's dropped the car and he's in the wall, and he's lucky there not to pick up a retirement. Front wing fully off the car though, and that's going to be that for Skarma. Let's see if Rob Wills can carry the speed up through Eau Rouge and over Radion, or is he going to suffer the same fate? No, he seems pretty comfortable. Skarma being a good lad there, staying well out of the way. It's a good man there. He's running some at the moment. No, he's going again. ENTXJ getting out of the way there. Traffic doing good. Spa's not too bad when it comes to that. There's plenty of opportunity to let the fast car go through. But Rob Bill's about to hit a lot of traffic coming up. Nick's staying well out of the way there. Interesting to see how Nick gets on in the Haas. It's going to be a really tough car to try and strangle a lap time out here. If he gets that Haas into Q3, I'll be very, very impressed. So Rob looking nice and steady so far. 16.3, so he's a few tenths off Mick at the moment. It's going to be a high 45, I think, for Rob. So up to bus stop he comes. Last couple of corners as Ryan Sam now goes into the 42, so it's a 42.9, and I think that shows that Ryan Sam is going to be the pace setter today, because he's now got a 1 second gap. And Rob Wills, I take that back, it's a low 45 in the Alfa Romeo. That's a cracking lap from Rob, although it's only Q1, but he puts himself up to P3, and I think that'll be him safely through. Skarma's on another invalidated lap. Mikey, last week's race winner and our championship leader. Let's go on board with Mikey. No, sure. Poor Skarma. So who's this up ahead? A little bit of a helpful toe here for Ryan Sam. Ryan Sam doing bits there. I would have gave Mikey a little mile an hour or two, not too much, but you just see the front end of that car just not there at all. Mikey having to be so hesitant and getting on throttle. Somebody else improved there. Matty now beat Pepsi's teammate up to P2, 43.7, so Shiv's call looking pretty strong. And Mikey looking pretty reasonable. The Haas always looks like it's doing a good lap, but you see once it gets to the line, it's just the speed it loses in the straight is horrendous, and then you don't gain any lap time by trimming the wing out in this car, so it's just not worth it. You just got to go with the base setup and strangle the car to as much to your advantage as you can. Back towards Blanchimont comes Mikey, and then bust up chicane ahead. We'll see exactly where he is going to set a lap time. Mikey looking reasonably competitive actually at the moment here. A 46.3's not a million miles away if he can squeeze that car into the 45s. If he's got another few tenths in the lap, it could be huge from ENTXG. I think he's on another run here, and he's Williams. He's P7 at the moment. I'd like to think Jay would be safe on a low 45, but oh, he is D-rating actually, so maybe Jay's just coming into the pits here. He is coming into the pits, so maybe just set that lap a little bit before everyone else, I think, is on their way in. Let's see how Matoman's getting on. He's heading up the Kemmel Straight, DRS open. Needs to get a lap on the board. Needs something. SPW done a 45.9 eventually in the medium, so SPW tyre delta spaz around about 7 tenths. Thank you, Rage. Good evening. Hope you enjoy your food. You've got to see SPW, I think, is good enough for top 4 here. And if we can beat Jay and take a big gain on Mikey, with Mikey being in the poorer car, you know, the championship, although Mikey's ahead, and Chubby Slug has picked up an invalidation. I didn't even notice that one there. Bidding starts at 1 pit. If you make it a Snickers, I will literally end the stream and get in a car. Just a Snickers. I don't even want the quid, you can keep it. Just give me a Snickers, I'll be very happy. So Matoman gonna go again. Yeah, I'm a fussy guy, what can I say? Chubby Slug is an invalidation, I agree. So Jay's confident in his lap now, he retires off from the session, he's had enough for Q1. We'll stay with Chubby Slug, he's one of the only mans. In fact, how is Skarma getting on? Nico Rosberg's lighting up the sectors. In fact, he's going to be maybe one to watch in the Red Bull. He hustled Nick pretty well when they had the opportunity in the Red Bull car, so looks nice and tidy at bus stop. Oh, careful there on invalidation. Josh gets away with it. To the line he goes, and it's a 43.6 for Nico Rosberg. So where's, and Skarma's in the wall. No, Skarma, and Chubby Slug's invalidated again. Mataman needs to hope he's got the fuel now to get the car round. Because I don't think Matoman can afford to pit. I don't think he's got the time to box. Oh no, he may just actually be able to box, but does he want to spend a fresh set of tyres? That is the question. Because he's certainly not going to go out in Q1. No way. So he is just going to go again. as Skarma. Somehow Skarma with that moment kept it out the wall, kept the damage off the car. That's pretty impressive. So Matoman on a slightly worn tyre now because the tyre wear is pretty high here, especially in the softs. He's probably on an 8 to 10% soft tyre now. So he's just got to be steady and have confidence in the fact that a mid 45 should see him through. He flirts with that inside curb at turn 4 again. He's got to be very careful of that one. Do not pick up an invalidation. SPW gets well out of his way there. Good man. Heading back down the hill he goes. Then here you got to be careful of the invalidation and up towards Puyon. Carry as much speed as you possibly dare here. Just a small lift and line some retires off from the session. He's not going to spend any more time on track for this session. So Matoman looking much tidier. I think this is where he was picking up his invalidation before, so he's staying well away from the limits and leaving plenty of time on the track there. And up the last straight towards Blanchimon and up towards bus stop chicane. We've got a Red Bull having a bit of a moment in the back straight. That's Nico Rosberg. I don't know if he retired on track there. No, I think that's in the pits. I think that was Volkswagen having a moment. So Matoman into bus stop chicane. Solid time by Skarma. Yeah, he's making gains. I didn't actually see that. So Matoman does go P5. He goes to the 44, so gets himself comfortably through. So how is our man Skarma getting on? He's coming to the line now. Where can Skarma go? He goes to a 47.9, but I think the tyre is dead. Danny Boy trying to improve, but he's invalidated his lap. How is Mikey and Nick? Nick's invalidated, so Nick looks like he's going to go out. SPW just going in his second run of the day. He's kept it to nice and late. And do we have Ranger on another run? No, we don't. That's Matty heading down that back straight. So who is the relevant man at the moment? Where does it matter? Mitsumat. Mitsumat needs to try and find a couple of tenths to give himself some margin. He's got Rob Wills ahead, although Rob Wills is looking very comfortable as it stands. While Rob Wills improves, he doesn't. Mitsumat gets himself up to P8, so much more comfortable now. Mitsumat will feel much better about that. SPW coming into Puyon, of course, he's on that soft compound tyre. Now sector 1 was about even, but you tend not to find the time in sector 1 in the tyre. It all comes to you here, so let's see what kind of lap time SPW can put on the road. I think he will get comfortably through on the softs, 8.5 tenths up, so a low 41. He'll find more time in the last couple of corners. He's going to go into the 44s here. I think he'll join Matoman as one of the only two drivers on the 44s at the moment, or it will be, in fact, if unless anybody gets into that time that's behind SPW, but I don't think many guys are on hot laps now. Misses his first apex a little bit at bus stop, but tucks up nicely for the second and gets a nice smooth exit on the power, and he does go into the 44. It's a 44.6 for SPW and up to P6, and that'll put him safely comfortable for that session. And I think every other driver now is invalidated. Volks, Bob, how's Danny getting on? No, Danny's coming to the line. Can Danny improve any? He does improve, but not enough, so Danny will go out. We're going to lose Mikey and Nick, Danny and Skarma. Mikey somehow gets that hash through, and Justin Volkswagen doesn't find any time in his last run either. We've got Bossman strolling through. He's on low fuel mode. So Ryan Sam takes the full scalp. Just invalidations there, Skarma. That was the tough thing. And then I think by the time you actually got the run, the tyres were just dead there. Because I feel like you probably do a 45, you're in that 45 group. A very, very competitive grid. Part of the strategy. I like it, Nick. I like it. The Haas master plan. So Nick, Danny and Skarma get a little bit of a break now, as the curtain draws in Q1. And we head into Q2, and of course the all-important tyre choice for the start of the race. It'll be interesting to see how that works come the new game as well. Of course that is no longer a rule. You get free choice, so... Oh damn, oh, so you did have a little bit of damage. Oh right, so... although you're out then, Scamma, take confidence, you know. You got some pace there. I think you should have been more about here. Somewhere about here. You just keep your head down on your race pace. 6 tenths up but ran out of fuel. So where would you have been next? 6 tenths up. Plus 2.3. Oh, Nick, you'd have been right there as well. So Nick, you would have got through. Ooh, so that's good for the race. Means we could have some interesting strategies ahead. And see some people maybe a little bit out of position for the qualifying being able to make some gains. Spa usually always is an exciting one, so let's just see. Can Nico Rosberg use his teammate for a little bit of a tow to gain a few tenths to get closer to Ryan Sam? That is the question. Right, so I'll leave it on that, chat. We'll leave it on our championship leader for a moment, and I will be back in 1 minute. So I'm back, chat, and we have a raft of drivers out on track. Mikey out on the softs. I think it's always going to be a very hard day to get that hash through on the medium compound tyre. Who is our lead driver on track at the moment? No. Nico Rosberg going to get out of the way there. He must have had a moment. So I think Matterman maybe a lead man of the hot laps. We get a nice view from through the halo there as he starts to head back down the hill. So Mato, oh, and he's had a big moment there. He used too much of that curb on the entrance, and you see the rear of the car just step away. Somehow he keeps it under control, and he wants to be careful there, getting very close to that inside curb. think Mataman is going to be our first man to bank a lap time on the board. So can he set the pace and make it the time to beat? I think those like Ryan, Sam and Range are behind. They'll be hot in his heels though. Didn't get his Ryan, Sam behind Mataman as well, so we're going to get a real good idea to exactly what the pace is. Mataman comes into the bus stop chicane to set the first lap time of a Q2 session on that medium compound tyre, and it's going to be a 45.1. It's a cracking lap compared to his Q1 lap for Mataman. But Ryan Sam's heading out the last corner now. Here he goes. It's a 44.5. Only 6/10 of a second. Ranger now splits him in a 44.7, and he does pretty much split them right down the middle. Dixie slots in now. P4 in a 46.4. ENTXG in a 46.5. Mix on an invalidated run. F. Lewis is just on his outlap. How is Mikey getting on? He's coming through the last couple of corners. Got Red Bull not far behind as Nico Rosberg does a 2.16 in his first run. It's a 46.5 for Mikey on the soft compound tyre and a 45.7 for Bossman. Bossman and the Aston Martin choosing to go into the soft compound tyre, as is Volkswagen. He's up to P5. It's a 46.0. So these guys could force a couple of guys onto a tyre that maybe don't want to start the race. How is Mick? He's on an invalidated run. Matty head just came through Blanchimon. Pouillon, sorry. Next fast corner after this is a Blanchimon. I do apologise. So where can Matty put that McLaren? Pipped his teammate by a little bit before, so could he put some pressure on Ryan Sam here? That is the question. Does he feel like he's got the pace in that McLaren to put a challenge against the Mercedes? Gets out the corner very, very, very well. It's a 44.7. Just pipped this time by his teammate. But pretty much nothing splitting the McLaren boys at all. Where is the SPW heading down the hill? Rob Wills is still in the pit, so we'll go with F. Lewis. He's got a lot of traffic to contend with here. Hopefully they get well out of the way. And you see the understeer there, the car just not playing ball. It's got a little bit of traffic ahead, and Volkswagen there, staying well to the right hand side. Good man. Through Blanchimon he goes. Into the last couple of corners now. Where does F. Lewis put his Aston Martin? Can he get into a safe spot for Q3? And he goes to P7. It's a 46.2, a very delayed one by the game yet again. Oh, excuse me, chat. Mick now heading up towards Blanchimon. He's got a valid run in this second time around. So where can he put the Alpha Tauri? Can he get close to his teammate? We've seen teammates pretty much matching each other's lap times. And SPW into the pits. So Mick to the line. It's going to be a high 45, so 45.8 on the medium compound. That's a solid lap there for Mick. He goes into P6. And now the tough question here. What do you do? So, Mick up to P6, Rob Wills on an outlap. So do we have any of these guys further back? I think they're all on in-laps. Mixie Max totally out of energy, so he's not going to make it going any faster. And I think these guys are not using any. So Ryan Sam leads the way in Q2, Ranger P2. Oh, thank you very much, Jim. It's a pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. I wish Cameron all the luck in the world, although he doesn't need a lot of luck. The little weapon that he is, not a bad weapon, a very strong weapon. Rob Wells heading down the hill. Up to Puyon he goes. How much speed does the Alpha Tower allow him to carry? Pretty good. Oh, nearly understeers out wide, but just keeps it within the confines of the track. And we should have at some point Mr. Man Jensen join us. At some point. So Rob Wells, you see him set a very competitive time in Q1 in the Alfa Romeo. Can he do it again? Very late in the brakes. Oh, and he's coming straight into the pits. That's interesting. He was very, very close to the wall there. SPW just opening a lap. So, where can he put that Alpine? Carrying good speed, sector 1, or the start of sector 2, I should say. Keeps it nice and tight as he starts to head back down the hill. Now Puyon for SPW, big carry speed. Barely even touched the brake there, just a lift for SPW. So carries very good momentum. And looking very competitive. You can see SPW right to the top of the timesheets here in Q2. On that soft compound tyre. So bust up lift for Mr. Steven. Tucks up nicely. Using all of the curb to his advantage to open that last corner. Gets a very good exit and he does go to the top of his timesheets. It's a 44.2 for SPW on that soft compound tyre. And I think he's put himself on quite a strong strategy there. I think Dixie's just heading out. Oh, maybe invalidated actually. So Jay's opted for the soft compound tyre, and I think he is actually on a lap. He is, and he is a second up. So a mid 45 for Jay would put him comfortable at the moment. He would squeeze out a Red Bull here if he did, and that Red Bull's back out in the medium compound tyre, so could be drama ahead as Jay heads up to bus stop. This will be his last run of Q2, so he will, if he completes this lap, which he is going to do, he's going to start the race on the soft compound tyre. As we see somebody else improve there. Jay though goes to P5, squeezes down, and I think it was Mikey in the Haas does a 45.5, squeezes out a Red Bull by the smallest of margins, and I don't think Nico Rosberg is on a lap at the moment. I think he will go for one next time around. Rangers had enough for the session. That's a very, very strong lap for ENTXJ in the Williams. Who else is further down? Mix, half a tenth up, shown on my screen anyway, so it'll be interesting to see where Mick can squeeze that Alpha Tauri. If he does only needs to find a couple of tenths and he could get himself up a few positions, it could be safe. Nico Rosberg's in the pit, so it's over for him. So Mick just needs to find 3 tenths in his lap, and he's 3.5 tenths up, and he will go ahead of Nico Rosberg, which would mean he would have a buffer of a car before he would get knocked out. So Mick through Blanchimont, and Dixie gets a 5-place grid penalty for a severe collision with SPW. That's interesting. I wonder if that was in the pit lane. So Mick, to the line he goes to P7 and does jump ahead of Mikey and Nico Rosberg. Bossman just opening a lap now, but let's look further back. How was JJ's on an out lap? So Bossman's going to be our next man. Dixie is retired from the session. Look at Rob Wills finally trying to set a time in the Alfa Romeo. I wonder how many soft tyres he's had to burn through though. It's a 16.1 sector 2, so he's looking pretty competitive again, Rob, in the Alpha. So bus stop chicane, nice and easy. DRS will pop open now, and to the line Rob goes, and he goes up to P5. It's a 44.9, and I think Rob will be safely through that one. We've got Chubby Slug a 10th.5 up. He would jump ahead at ENTXJ, but that's it. Mick's qualifying is over. How is Bossman getting on? He's shown a 10th up. He's the lead man in circuit, so Bossman needs to find a little bit more time through these next couple of corners and up, and he picks up an invalidation, so Nico Rosberg will squeeze through on the medium compound tyre in the Red Bull. He will start the race on the medium. Mikey though, the story of the session, gets that Haas through in P9. SPW topping the timing sheets as well in that Alpine. Rob Wills and ENTXJ getting their 2 boxes through. A very, very good effort there, boys. And we have a very, very interesting race ahead. So we will lose Bossman, Volksbob, F-Lewis, Miximat and Dixie. And Dixie now will start at the back of the grid. After that contact with SPW, Bossman goes to the line to save any waiting of time. Mick may want to come into the pit so he doesn't get any excessive wear, as he will start the race on that tyre. So, into Q2 we go, and SPW tops the time sheets. Ryan Sam P2, Ranger P3, Matty P4, Rob Wills 5, ENTXJ P6, Chubby Slug P7, Mick P8, Mikey 9, Nico Rosberg P10, and we lose Bossman, Volksbob, F. Lewis, Miximat, and Dixie with love from the gym. As always, Mike tuning in while he's ripping the reps. Squashing those melons in the biceps. I know you're there eyeing up all the guys' butts, Mike, but shh, I won't tell him there. So Adam, of course, that 5-place grid penalty will start at the back of the grid. But the shootout is an interesting one. It's looking close between these two. If Ranger can find just another couple of tenths in the car, can he mount a challenge to Ryan Sam? How high can SPW realistically get that Alpine? I think he would be very, very happy to start in the top 6 here. So, there is opportunities ahead. A shorter race, of course. It's not shorter, the lap's a little bit longer, but only 22 laps at Belgium. I always feel like a 50% race here does get through pretty quickly. and a longer outlap, so guys will need to get on with it here. They do not want to spend too much time in the pits. And there we do have, I think that could be Mr. Ranger heading out straight away. It is. So Ranger is going to be the first man out. And then I think it could be Chubby Slug and Mikey, or it might be actually Mick. Just Mick behind. It's his driver number. So, will we see some games in terms of people trying to pick up a little bit of slipstream? Mikey would be the type of driver you could see trying to stick to somebody. Maybe not his first run, but definitely the second run. The Haas is rubbish through the corners anyway, so it doesn't really matter how close you are to somebody, but you will definitely gain a lot in the straight. Or maybe he just wants a nice clean run, no interference. So Mick leads the way in our Q3 session. And he will be the first man to open a lap. It's now, I think we have every car leaving the grid apart, the pits, apart from Rob Wills. So Rob, possibly down to only one new set of soft compound tyre, doesn't feel it's worth running on an older tyre. But if he wants 2 runs, he'll need to get on with it pretty quickly. So what have we seen back here? Some games, some toemanship, if you want to call it this. We've got Ranger pretty close to Ryan Sam, so maybe Ranger's eyeing up that bit of distant toe from the Mercedes. Maybe he'll feel that that'll give him the bit of time he needs to pull him along and gain a little bit of time. Of course, it's not illegal as Mick gets us going into turn 1 for the first time in our Q3 shootout. A little bit of wobble in the rear as he picks up the traction. Down towards Rouge and Radium for the first time. Absolutely flat at this point. Oh, Mick does go for a little bit of a lift there, so leaving some time. Of course, the lift will cost you time all the way to the top of the straight. So anywhere Mick goes here, he knows just in that straight alone he's probably got a tenth of a second. It's a 30.4 sector 1, so pretty competitive. Mikey 7 tenths off the pace to what Mick was sitting at the moment. And we've got a yellow flag. I think that's Nico Rosberg just going slowly, heating up his tyres as Jensen joins us with some minutes left in the session. 8.5 minutes left in qualifying. Jensen, do you need an invitation to the lobby?
Yeah.
I am on it. Excuse the screen for a moment, chat. How did your race go, sir? Nice, nice. Just keep banging out the results, you don't stop. You're a machine. Oh, you're on your old one. Bear with me 1 second, guys. There we go, Mr. Jensen. As Mick now comes through bus stop chicane, he's going to put the first time on the board, and it will be a 44.8 for Mick. What about Mikey in the Haas? Got the car into Q3. How high up the grid can he get it? It's a 46.9. He's a couple of seconds off that pole position time so far. Matty went straight into the pits. Is that Chubby Slug now? It is coming out the last corner. DRS open, and Chubby Slug, he goes on to provisional pole at 43.9, but there's some faster cars coming behind. Ryan Sam coming to the line now. He is going to set a 43.3, 6 tenths ahead, and now Ranger goes a 43.7, so not as close as he would like to be. Ryan Sam holding a 4-tenth advantage now at the moment at the top of the grid. And who was that? Was that Jade? Yes, it was. ENTXJ goes a 45.0, still his best time of the session so far of the day, and into P5. Matty, SPW, and Rob Wills goes never left. Matty and SPW both went to the pits again, so I'm wondering if they invalidated or did not have a fresh set of tyres. Good evening, Jensen. You are now with us. I need to turn you up a little bit. It's very quiet. I love that new setting. Speak now, sir.
Hello.
Yes, this is much better. Thank you very much. So, Spa, Jensen. Q3. Mikey dragged the poo box that is a Haas into the Q3, which I think is a very good job in a track like this. And he done that without any tow. But Ryan, Sam and Ranger kind of looking... Ryan, Sam especially is in another league in his Mercedes. Ranger, I think it's going to be Ryan, Sam from Ranger, bar no interruptions. But the midfield battle is an interesting one. Very close. And some drivers out of position as well. And I think that's about as up to speed as I can bring you. Where were you racing this evening, sir? Well, we have a quiet spot in the qualifying. The good old America. Where did you qualify?
Yes. 5th.
Oh, so P5 to P2. Happy days. Any drama?
A little bit.
There's always drama in a Jensen race. So, feeling enthusiastic for an exciting race, Mr. Jensen?
Hopefully.
So Matty, the only man on track at the moment, the only fella, and he's just going to open a lap as we speak. Into turn 1. Mikey coming out the pits, but he'll be well ahead of that, Matty, no issue at all. The driver's going to be leaving it pretty late here. The clouds coming in as well, so we better hope there's no weather on the way. And up the camel straight into Jensen's favourite corner of the week.
Yeah, shush.
I'm sorry. No, Scam enjoyed that one.
I think my favourite corner of this track is the final corner.
Bus stop, you like bus stop chicane? You made a very good overtake there. A double overtake actually last night on your recovery, I've seen it. Oh, and Matty picks up an invalidation, so his lap's over.
I like the bus stop chicane, the game could disqualify you on the exit of there.
Oh yeah, imagine not using both tyres. All that time in the game now when you forget to use both tyre sets. I'm just kidding, I know you got screwed. It wouldn't be a race without some Cody's drama. They always find a way to get themselves involved in a race.
A new driver, Matty.
Yes,
Really?
reserving.
Is he a reserve?
Evening. Yes. Reserving for Mr. Pedro, I think, or Fingers.
Mikey's starting a lap in the Haas. So I'll be surprised if he does get a good time on the board. But of course he came home he took the win, didn't he, last time out. Of course there wasn't a stream for that. But he's now got a 26 point advantage over his rivals.
Which is a good chunk.
Yeah, massive switch around after only a couple of races.
You're 10th up sector 1. See, Mikey used softs all sessions, Jensen, so his first run could have been on an old tyre.
Maybe, see what he's going for now.
He was a 10th up sector 1, and that seems a good chunk of time to find even in the first sector.
Yeah, he
So
needs to find a lot of
steady.
time, otherwise getting any lap time, it doesn't really matter. Good
Yeah,
enough.
it's 1.9 seconds off the pace at the moment. Sector 2 split coming up though, so we'll get an idea of where Mikey is going to be, and he is a second up, so he's going to bring himself into a more competitive area. Is there 9/10ths in this last sector? It would be a mighty ask unless he made a huge mistake at bus stop chicane.
There we go.
I think it's going to be somewhere
That was nice.
45.3, 45.4, something like that. Oh no, it's 45.7. He does find a good chunk of time, 1.2 seconds.
Don't feel it's enough though for him.
People really struggling with the invalidations this evening. Whereas
SPW, I think I picked to win this race. In the Alpine.
Interesting.
So, fairly good car.
Oh, and Ryan Sam's missed. He's braking a little bit into bus stop chicane. That shot him a bit deep for the entrance, but he gets the car turned in nicely in the end and goes a 42.8. Fines nearly half a second. And so Ranger is getting out his lap, but he's got 20 seconds left, so he should get another run. I'll go to SPW now.
He's looking on course. Be about Ranger area. Ranger and Matt. In this middle sector, I don't know. Have a look. And that's the session over. See what they do. So SPW might land himself in between, no, behind Matt and Ranger.
Into P4, and I says if he got top 6 I think he'd be pretty happy. Rob Wills has invalidated his lap, so his session's over. ENTXJ improves himself up to P5, goes to a 44.8 and just pips out Mick, but Mick's 3.5 tenths up
again.
Coming
Mikey's
into bus stop chicane.
Again.
Mick is going to improve, does he? And he does, he jumps back to P5. I'll go back to Mikey now.
Not much.
Goes to 45.4.
A big disadvantage of the Haas. So, Matt, and yeah, just Matty and Matt.
Yep. Rob Wills is over, and I think Matty's the lead car at the moment.
15-1.
Hello, Mitzi Matt. Good evening. From Wales.
15-1. You're looking about another high 43.
Another
with
one.
SPW.
Oh. So that's what I'm saying beyond Ryan Summit is looking very competitive. The last corner he goes.
Front row.
He goes a 43.5.
Here comes Matt though. Can he improve? Get a 43.9 and he's going to go P3.
43.6. Splits the McLarens, and I think Mataman will be very happy with that in the end. But Ryan Sam looking very strong out front in that Mercedes car. He puts it on pole position. Matty P2 in that reserve row. He'll be happy to get his first showing in realistic performance on the front row. Chubby Slug P3 in the Alpha Tauri, Rangers P4. SPW is in P5 in the Alpine. That's a good lap there for SPW. Mick P6 in the Alpha Tauri. ENTXJ P7 in the Williams. Jay and Mikey, probably two stories of the session there. Nico Rosberg P9 and Rob Wills unfortunately not going to lap that. It'd have been interesting to see where Nico and Rob actually went in the session. Only one set of tyres and they pick up that invalidation. I reckon they could have been pretty competitive. But the battle for the podium is absolutely on. This is going to be rather exciting. 22 laps ahead of the drivers. And any weather springing a surprise.
Back on pole, Ryan. Sammy got in Austria as well.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen Ryan on the top step.
It's Mercedes though. It's giving him the edge a little bit.
all that oomph.
Indeed. Well then.
I hope we have a tired Jensen.
Yeah, been tired all day.
Just one of the days. And you still get P2 in races? That's crazy. Matt tidy up. Okay. I don't know what that means. Didn't matter, man, you have to go tidy up. So formation lap ahead. Row 1 of the Belgian Grand Prix will be Ryan, Sam and Matty. Row 2 will be Chubby Slug and Ranger. Row 3, SPW and Mick. Row 4, ENTXJ and Mikey. Row 5, Nico Rosberg and Rob Welsh. Row 6, Bossman and Volks. Row 7, F. Lewis and Mitsima. Row 8,
and Bossman.
oh yeah, they've just been disqualified for the session. Yeah. Row 8, Nick and Danny, and row 9, Dixie, Escarma and Dixie. Dixie, of course, got that 5th place grid penalty for...
And Nick in the Haas for the 2nd week in a row, and I think this is the first time this season that someone's in the Haas 2 weeks in a row and they didn't get put in because they crashed out. Just on pure result.
So Nick's he's been in good form recently, Nick, isn't he? Across all his racing. He getting strong results on Monday nights, yeah.
Yeah. It's going off very wide though. Don't know what's happening there. What is he doing?
I think they just trust the system.
He's... being a bit silly.
Gap ascending.
Bit weird. What that was, I don't know. Taking super wide lines, it might... I don't know.
So before we get going, quick Jensen, your quick pick of the podium today.
Ryan, Sam... actually no, it was SPW, wasn't it? SPW, Ryan, Sam, and... let's go Nick. Because it seems like he's getting podiums every time, even in the Haas.
I'm going to go for Ryan, Sam, SPW and Nico Rosberg in the Red Bull. As we line up for the Belgian Grand Prix. And that big old run up the Kemmel straight to turn 4. It's going to get interesting as Dixie takes that final grid slot. We'll go to Ryan, Sam and we'll watch from afar as the Belgian Grand Prix gets some lights. We have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5. And we are away, and it's a pretty even start from our first 2 rows of the grid. 2 McLaren boys are going to use that outside line. Ryan, Sam will just cover that off, and I think he'll get the better exit as they go 3 wide behind into turn 1, but Matty gets the better run. That Chubby Slug will need to slot him behind, but he's been put under big pressure from Ranger. Further back, SPW pulls out behind ENTXJ. I think SPW lost a position off the start there as we head up the Kemmel Straight for the first time. All in single file searching for that toe. Further back we've got F. Lewis all over the back. A Mick here, and what's happening further behind, let's see. It's looking pretty status quo as they go 2 abreast into the first corner. Nick just bails out of that one there. That was probably smarter plays. He snatched a big inside lock up in that medium compound tyre. And I think nothing too crazy on the first laps, Jensen. Everybody seems to have got through pretty unscathed. F. Lewis gained 5 positions, and otherwise than that it's just 1 position for other drivers. So a small gain on the off the start or nothing at all. SPW's managed to get himself back into P5, but ENTXJ is looking very, very quick in that Williams car as they go side by side through the second chicane, but SPW will get the better line there and be able to take back control of the lead. Ryan Sam already get that DRS gap, as has Matty to his teammate, so front three starting to open up. For the back we have some fighting going on. It's got Dixie here making gains on Danny and Nick. And
Skama and Mitzi Matt just had a moment. Skama going off the circuit.
And I don't know, is Nick running damage on this? Some crazy downforce in the car.
Skama.
And Adam there got an absolute tremendous run off that last corner, and he's going to have Danny Boy up into turn one. Through in the inside line he'll go. This overtake's happening pretty much everywhere at the moment as Mick starts to make the run on Nick.
And that's Ranger! Ranger is gone. Is that in the wall?
No, he's got no damage. Oh, he does, he's lost an end plate.
Lost an end plate. Very lucky that he really didn't retire. Don't know what might have happened. But
seen a couple of drivers really struggle. I think the guys on the controller going up through a Roche or the Ranger is a wheel guy now actually, so I'm not so sure. It's my podium picks closing in on the podium. Let's go boys, I believe. And I think Nico Rosberg, the lead man on the medium compound tyre behind any soft, so it is Chubby Slug, Matty and Ryan Sam. No, they're starting to really get split up, I think. Oh, and what's happened there? Chubby Slug's round. Chubby Slug has went round at the curb. At the first end, somebody else is off. Missy Matt comes flying into him there. Oh my God, thank God for Ghoster. That would have been two cars out by complete misfortune. And I think Ranger is driving still very windy, so he's going to have to come.
He's passing Jay, his championship rival.
Jay's coming back. Look at that. Oh, no, there's a little bit of contact.
And there's Nico Rosberg and Mikey, the championship leader, is right there as well. They're all going to watch out as Skama gets past Mick. Mick gets the exit though and it's going to come back at him. Trading places, and that's Danny Boy in the spin as well at the final corner.
I think we're about to see some action up the straight here as we see Nico Rosberg, and the speed of that Red Bull, he just gets on the energy and just breezes past ENTXJ even before the start of Eau Rouge, and then he'll get on the energy now and make some big gains. And F. Lewis up the Kemmel straight, we see he's found 0.3 of a second or 0.4 of a second just in DRS there. So pretty powerful. So a big train of cars behind F. Lewis, P4 to P10. Oh, Dixie going through further back on Starmat. Empty Puyon. Dixie making moves. He's up to P12 from the back of the grid. Gap to Mick ahead, 1.7 seconds. And I know for certain Dixie's car has a lot of straight line speed, and somebody's had a moment there. Is that Chubby Slug again? Mato man, he's had another moment and had another curb, and he's round and in the wall. And this time he's picked up some damage, so he's going to have to pit. But the DRS train begins. Who strikes first? And Mikey got a good chunk of energy advantage here, so we could see him maybe make a run here. And Jay, he gets on the energy, the DRS is open, and look at Mikey here in the hash, he's making big gains on Jay. He pulls the racing line while he go round the long way. Jay's going to try and defend that off. They go side by side. This is some good racing here between the two, and they're still side by side as they head through the next Right kick, and they're still going to stay side by side as they head down the hill now. Mikey will try and go around the long way. It's getting a bit of wheel pushy and shovey, but there's not much space at that point of the track, and still they're going to try and keep doing it. And Jay somehow defends Mikey off after 5 corners of side by side racing. Somehow Jay keeps that position, but Mikey is hustling that Haas car with his absolute life. Nico Rosberg picks up the first time penalty of the race.
Skarma and Danny Boy having a bit of a scrap there. And Skarma, I think he has wing damage. Seems he very big understeer. There. There's that Bossman and Rob Wills going at it as well on the exit of the final corner. And Rob Wills seems to have the edge. And there goes Bossman trying to go the inside. Oh, he almost got shoved in the barrier there.
Bold.
Yeah.
And Bossman's actually lost out now to Volks. Coming through in his Red Bull.
Oh, Volks going a little bit offline through Eau Rouge there, but here comes the Aston Martin. Is it quick enough to beat the Red Bull on the straight? Yes it is, he goes through.
I think we'll see this trade blows.
I think Ranger is in the lobby. Did he leave?
Says his wheel was not in sync. But did you just drop it going up Eau Rouge, Ranger?
He's come back. Might have just been sorting out something.
Yeah, he says his wheel had sync issues and then the game crashed when he tried to fix it.
Hopefully that.
And Rob Wilson on Bossman, and Rob Wills is round and he's in the barrier there. And just as we got on board, and now Dixie is up to P11. And found half a second on this train ahead, and Dixie and his Alpine could be getting close to that top 6.
Ranger is now back in the car.
Well, nice.
Yeah, took control mid-corner, so it's hard. But Skarma's out.
Oh.
And he's crashed.
Safety car.
Oh, that's... Yeah,
wow.
That's a full safety car, and it's brought Ranger back in the race. I think Skarma looks like he lost it out of... into Stavolo. Giovinazzi had his crash a few years ago. Pretty sure. A couple of years ago.
And I think this is a good time for the soft compound tyre as Ranger gets a drive-through penalty. And that is going to really compound his misery there.
Oh.
Oh. So, interesting times ahead for the guys. Soft tyres get the luck of the draw. High SPW Jensen.
Yeah, that's really ruined Ryan, Sam and Matty there. They're going to have to go for the hard tyres. Really, if they went for anything else, it's not really a chance. Or if they're going to stay out, or they're going to go for the pits, surely.
Well, what happened to Nico Rosberg? That's a good point.
Ryan Sam stays out. Ryan Sam stays out. Matty stays out. SPW lead car.
In the pits.
On. Lead car on the new strategy, he will be. Yeah, he does pit. I wonder how this is going to play out. If Rosberg stays out, of course, is there anyone who will stay out? No. Surely not. It's literally have to pit. This is the perfect time for the soft runners to pit. If you don't pit, I don't just what's wrong with you. But
SPW in the driving seat now here.
yeah, I'll pick for the win. Go on, SPW.
That is a very good point. Where is mine? Nico Rosberg in P3. Oh, my top 3 is right there
But
now.
he does have a penalty. He has a drive-through. Oh, that's unfortunate, Chris.
Oh. You got a drive-through?
Yeah.
No.
Ranger's got a drive-through. At least he's going to be back. I mean, he was over a minute behind the leaders, so at least he gets sort of back there, but of course he will be about 30 seconds off the lead. Come serve that drive-through.
So Ryan, Sam, Matty and Nico, the only guys not to pit. Don't think Mitzi Matt's pit under there, but he's gained some track position back. He'd only pit a couple of laps ago. But SPW, Ranger says his game is so broken. Look, Ranger, if it's too dangerous, just finish the race in AI.
Yeah.
And
Or retire from the race.
Yeah, and we'll make sure you at least get the points for where you finish, where you retire. Because you're doing the noble thing.
Get the points for, yeah.
It's not much, I know,
Or
and
you
know
get a
can be
Mercedes
faster.
next week.
What's
I
that?
don't know how they do that, but
Yeah.
I mean, if it's really like it just takes away the risk, I don't know.
That's it. If you just stay in the eye and let the computer finish the race,
Yeah.
we'll say to the age that you've done it for the noble thing. You'll get a point and go into the better car next week, so you get something to fight. It's a kind of claw back, something, you know.
Yeah, hopefully don't. It's unfortunate. Well, I'm happy that I'm not the only victim of bugs around here.
Why Spa as well? Makes no sense. And Nick went onto the soft tyre. Yeah, Shiv. I would say so. Pretty ruined. Soft tyre, the safety car came at such a nice time for those guys. Bear with me 1 second, Jensen. I'm going to grab the restroom.
Oh, God. Should be in this lap, maybe. Will we be in this lap? I do not know. Clouds are coming over. There could be a hint of rain in the air, maybe. That might be the reason why they stayed out. Maybe, I don't know. They maybe stay out.
Could that be why Nick P15 is on the soft compound tyre? See some weather
He
coming in.
started on the mediums, didn't he?
That'd be the only reason, wouldn't you? You would go to a soft now if you felt like something was going to play into your favour.
He was on the mediums, he's going for the softs. Yeah, it could be a play.
So they may not just be screwed yet, Mr. Shiv.
Oh, is safety car going to be in? It depends if Ranger catches up.
He is pushing hard
driving.
as well. He is pushing hard, so...
Oh, it's going to be close.
Ranger is trying his best to get the race going.
No, he won't do it.
I think it'll be one more lap. Good effort, Ranger. We did see you trying there, mate, so you've done your best. Some people not even willing to push the tyre that hard to catch up a crawling queue, so there we go. And what happened to Mato, man? Oh yeah, he's had a terrible race. Oh yeah, sorry Matt. Yes, Shiv, SPW does have a great chance, Ranger, into the pits.
Oh, you're getting really close there. We'll slow down a little bit. And
now, if the rain does come, does it come enough and heavy enough to?
That is interesting. Mikey on the hard tyres. Started on the softs, he's on the hard tyres now. You don't know if the rain's gonna come or not, because everyone's on like different strategies for like why go for hard tyres.
Because that is certainly a tyre you do not want to be on when the rain starts.
No. But anyway, safety car will be in this lap. We'll have another 13 laps of racing.
It always feels such a short race, Spa. It's only 22 laps.
Yeah, because a lap feels like a lap, doesn't it?
Well, that is true.
It don't feel like anything else, and then you go to a race like Monaco, it feels forever because it's like double the laps, even though it's like a shorter. Like it doesn't feel shorter or anything.
I think Monaco's probably about half the length nearly of this track, right? No, maybe not quite. Maybe not quite.
3 times less the length, I think.
So, 1/3 the distance. That's crazy. We should get the call.
I don't know. It might be. I don't know. It might be half. Might be just half. It's just, yeah, slow speed.
In this lap. So no sign of weather rolling in just yet. And of course, if weather doesn't come, Ryan Samati and Nico Rosberg are screwed.
Oh, the spots of rain.
Has it started?
Nah.
Oh, Jensen, come on!
Just give us something to talk about on this restart. Everyone's weaving about, getting their tyres up to temperature. Wait, SPW. See what he could do. On the fresher tyres, Ryan Sam, I think, has he restarted? No, he hasn't. Not yet.
So I think he's going to go off the last
corner
now
here. With that. Yeah, he's gone now.
So, green flag racing we go, and who's that all over the back? F. Lewis, all over the back SPW, that could be an interesting one.
Yeah, these two don't like each other.
Behind. ENTXJ making a big lunge and making it the first corner, and he gets that position actually, so ENTXJ makes a big move.
Mikey's going to be a big struggle. I think Mikey's going to have a massive lift through Eau Rouge here. No. He managed to take it flat. That's quite
here comes F. Lewis and SPW. We're going to see a move at the top of the straight. SPW will show his intent to defend.
Yeah, these two zones, I'd say they're almost equal cars, Aston and Alpine.
Yeah, there's Nico Rosberg goes a little bit deep there. SPW just waiting to pounce, I think. Playing the long game at the moment. Anything further back, Bossman now trying to make the move, and Mikey defending it off. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2, and Chubby Slug going backwards, and Danny Boy, I think they're both at the moment.
Spano Rouge. No, not Eau Rouge. Not Radion.
Puon.
Yeah.
I do the same, mate. So good. So SPW got himself within a couple of tenths of Nico Rosberg again. And SPW well within the grass of the podium at the moment. But of course, if there is any weather coming, Nico
Rosberg has to serve that drive-through in the next... he has to serve at the end of this lap. End of this lap, or, yeah, we get the DSQ. Unless the safety car comes out, and then he doesn't have to serve it until then.
Is that
Imagine
right?
if the safety cars carry you all the way through the race.
Never having to serve your drive-through. I wonder what the
Yeah.
game would do there. Probably
If
just
you
give
have
you
a drive through at the end,
30-second penalty.
20 seconds, I think.
20? Wow.
Yeah,
So
it's usually a 20
Mick
second penalty.
on the back of Mikey. Dixie on his medium compound tyre as well. He's right in the back of these guys. He's made some good gains. He's up 10 positions for the start. And you see just the superior grip carrying him through the corners there. Needs to pick his opportunities. He does not want to get stuck behind these hard compound tyres for too long.
Look at Ranger picking through the field. He's already in 11th.
Oh yeah, and he's on the back of Dixie.
Yeah, but he's also the other one who has to pit at the end of this lap. Serve a drive through. Oh, look at the run he's getting on Dixie. Oh, he's gone a bit wide. But he's come back. Oh, they get close, but I think Ranger. Oh, they're making a bit of contact. Oh, Ranger's gone off into the gravel. Let's get the car though from spinning.
I hate how you just have such slight wheel contact like that and it upsets one car so much. Because the boys don't do anything wrong there, it's just the game mechanics.
Here we go, SPW on the prow of Nico Rosberg. Oh, and there's the rain. Rain is falling.
Oh.
So Nico Rosberg, is he choosing to pit into this already? But yeah, the rain is falling.
Ranger as well, Ranger straight into the pits.
Wondering if the rain was going to come or not. It has.
Now the question is how much?
Yeah, and no, it's just drive-through Nico Rosberg, wasn't it? Ranger as well, but Volkswagen goes to the Inters already. Bit early, I'd say.
Yeah,
give it a few more laps.
It's not raining massively at all. And Dixie with a big move round the outside at turn 4, and oh, there's some weird connection there. Mick seemed to jump right into Dixie's face. I would have got a bit of a fright there. We got a yellow flag
Oh,
sector
and that's Nick.
1 and 2.
I think Nick had something happen.
And you see the hard tyres really start to fall off the pace now as the track cools.
Here
They're
comes
just
Matty.
going to lose grip.
He's catching up to Ryan Sam a little bit.
And it's not raining a lot yet.
Yeah, but it is impacting on the pace a bit. I'd say you could definitely say next lap. Next lap it would definitely be wet enough. But it depends, will they pit earlier or will they pit late?
So let's see, Ryan Sammy's going to continue, as does Matty, as does SPW. They don't think it's time just yet. Lewis into the pits, so he's got to be to the intermediate compound now.
SPW only half a second off his pace at the moment. So, yeah, you could argue that it isn't at the moment.
And what if it stays
No one else
like
going
this? Intermediate tyres could be bust.
Yeah, and Matty trying to use this time now before it goes away with the DRS. Can't get close enough to Ryan Sam out.
That Mercedes is probably going to be impossible to overtake if you don't have the DRS. Although McLaren is the fastest car in the straight, so if you can get close enough through a rouge, you may just be able to still mount a challenge into turn 4.
So what is F. Lewis doing at the moment? He is
falling
really
off
struggling.
The back of Danny, yeah. It's not even close to intermediate tyres yet.
You just need to look at the deltas, see how they change. I usually use the middle sector as a reference. And yeah, looking at it, it is falling off quite a handful. No, maybe not. Ryan Sam was only a second off his best.
Condition, yeah.
Yeah, it was better than his last lap actually.
And he's 12 laps into that medium tyre, so there's still grip there. DRS still very much enabled as well.
No change in pace, pretty much. That early stop to into this has not paid off at all. And F. Lewis, he was running good as well with Lewis. And he's just, yeah, really lost out with that. And Matty's dropped out of DRS. And SPW's come into DRS.
Oh, SPW making gains. He's got a bit more energy than the guys in front as well. Or a bit more than Matty. As Nick and Mataman do battle further back, let's go to this little fight here as they're side by side up through Eau Rouge and Radon. Now it's a DRS drag, but you see the Haas just lose out a little bit. Mataman makes some big gains in Ranger, but not quite able to close up just now. Of course, that soft tyre will be very, very strong in these conditions. It's not quite at the intermediate yet, but
let's just look at the split times again. I'm just gonna tell you what Ryan Sam is doing.
Eflo is still falling way off the pace in his inters as well, so.
And Ryan Sam, that's half a second lost. Now the track is lost half a second. So this could go long.
Well.
And if it goes longer, it plays into the hands of SPW.
That's it. Because these guys have a really tough choice now, because if the inters don't come in and the mediums are dead, they have to go to the soft compound tyre, and then they could have to pit they're pretty much straight after if the inters come in. So they have tough choices.
Yeah, if this is what SPW wants it to be at the moment. Prolonged rain. It's just not gonna dry up. Well, it's not gonna not dry up, but come very slowly for affecting the track. They have to back off a little bit through there, and Matty doesn't have DRS, so yeah, SPW in an easy pass on the McLaren.
The speed difference there.
And SPW into the second place now. You can claw away at Ryan Sam's gap.
Yeah, Chunks himself into DRS. He'd be in a very, very good position. It's Bossman over the back of ENTXG now. Bossman on for a strong result.
Yeah, he's got that 3-second penalty though, but it's not going to affect him at all at the moment. Unless he does overtake Jay, which of course will.
So I think the intermediate tyres are not going to be far away now, Jensen. Although, well, I could be wrong again. 7 laps to go, still seems reasonable grip there. Although SPW is about 2 seconds down. Yeah. So it's not going to be far away. I think the crossover's probably going to be about 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds, right?
Nah, a bit more than that.
More? Oh, so it's still got a bit to go.
About 6 seconds. Not even that. Could be even more than that. But if you look at their lap times, I'd say, yeah, about 6 seconds. 6 or 8 seconds. It's 4 seconds at the moment. So, this might be the last one. It could be the last one. SPW
make it into the pits on his hard compound tyre.
They've now, it seems they're all hitting the brick wall here of, yeah, and it's looking like it's about to become a wet track. And here comes Matty, he's trying to get past before pitting. And there goes Matty, tries to brake, but he can't outbrake SPW.
Nah, I don't think the intermediate tyres are close yet.
And yeah,
should be this lap though.
Yeah, it's started to come down a lot, isn't it now?
DRS still very much
It's
enabled,
slow.
which is interesting. It's very strange to see Mikey just about to do a DRS overtake pass on Mitsima on an intermediate compound, but this is where we'll really see the difference, and that Mikey just can't. No, the slick tyres have still got a lot of grip, Jensen. Mitsima has just drove away from Mikey at the top of the Kemmel Straight.
He's gone to soft tyres, Mitzi, that though. Brand new soft tyres. Of course they're going to be faster.
So let's see
but yeah, but he is fully driving away now, isn't he? It's about timing a pit stop right.
I mean, Ryan Sam's going to have to box. It goes on more.
Matty in.
So we've been left with quite an interesting ending to this race, Jensen.
Yeah.
This seems a really tough.
Do you think SPW will carry on until the end?
Does he just go for it? Although it does look to be getting very, very sketchy on the track, you're starting to see.
Yeah, but it's a risk that
spray.
it could be worth taking. It's 5 laps more to do. It's 1.3 seconds off and set to 1 though.
But how far are the inters off the first sector? That's the question.
He just needs to go 4 seconds.
And Chubby Slug here, Chubby Slug from the back of the grid. Jensen has just overtook Matty. Matoman not pitting is back up to P7. He spun 3 times in this race. It is not time.
It's coming into play for SPW now though. Even though Ryan Sam is driving away, but he still has to pit. He can't go to the end on that single set. There's a virtual safety car. And is that what Ryan Sam needed?
Oh.
Ooh. Who was that? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I was trying to kind of scope out looking at the track map, but I don't see much. Could have been Volks. Yeah, I think it may have been Volks actually. So, while this stayed long enough.
It was F. Lewis. He lost his front wing.
Dropped it on Rouge maybe.
Volks onto the soft tyres.
And Ryan Sam's going in the pits. Ryan Sam boxes. What does
SPW
do?
box?
He's going
he
to
stays
continue.
Out. This is... Oh my god.
It's Lando Norris all over again.
It does look wet, doesn't it, this track now? Jay's going to come in. Bossman stays out.
Ryan Sam goes to the soft compound tyre, Jensen.
Oh.
Ryan Sam
so he doesn't think it's wet enough.
Oh wow. So SPW could be about to win this race.
Look at Ranger. Look at Ranger. He's up to 4th now. Wow.
Although that soft tyre is going to be battered.
So yeah, 4.5 laps for Ryan Sam to catch a 11.3 second gap. Oh, SPW's got a drive through!
No!
Oh my
SPW,
god!
No!
And that, oh no, man. I'm lost for words on what just happened there. SPW has just picked up a drive-through penalty.
In such a complicated race in terms of strategy, that is the last thing he needed. He was in control.
He's on for the win.
Very good margin.
I'm resigning from SPW Esports. Oh no. That is gutting for him, but...
Now, he can still finish well, I think, if he serves it now. It's obviously not going to be where it be, but he could be top
maybe.
5, yeah.
But those inters will start to be quicker though, soon.
So Matty Matoman's a good judge, and Matty's still falling off. Matoman is on an older medium compound tyre, so... Oh no, maybe not now. Oh, it's very close, Jensen. It is very, very close. SPW goes in to serve that drive-through, but if the inter tyre does come in now, he is in big, big trouble.
And Ryan Sam's race has been saved there, but Ryan Sam was catching up anyways on those soft tyres. I think Ryan Sam still would have got him, possibly. And it's the yellow flag. Who's that? It's Ranger! In a spin, he was running so well.
And SPW still come out,
but he's
P3, Jensen. He's still on the podium.
And he'll be on for P2 to the boss man. Getting the penalty. But will he still keep this podium?
Intermediate tyres, how are they looking?
Still about the same pace as the dries now.
So
I don't think they'll get him.
Is coming. I think SPW could be safe here. And I tell you that, this will be a tremendous drive from SPW today. He's got the strategy spot on, but just see the struggle now. The guys are really struggling, and I think the intermediate compound tyre is very much the tyre to be on now. So I think now this race swings in favour of Matty, Jensen.
Yeah, Matty is coming. And this could be a podium for him on his debut race in realistic. Even though he's a reserve, so he won't get the points or like overall position there, but
Ranger picks up a time penalty for multiple warnings, but what do they do here? Can they see it out for 2 laps on this? To be a mighty ask. Is Ryan Sam going to pit? He is not, he's continuing on. The inter tyre is very much the tyre to be on now though.
It's not really worth pitting now, is it? You're not going to lose out. Like,
you just got to go for it.
You're going to lose out more of the pit stop, and F. Lewis has crashed, and that was a little bit too late for a safety car. And Chubbyslug takes to the pits, he's going to try and pit.
DRS still enabled? We still have DRS? What? Is DRS still enabled? There is absolutely no grip, and SPW is going to get the job done in Bossman pretty early. Sorry, Jensen.
Oh, and Bossman's going to back out of that one. And look at Matty closing in. Who's going to get this podium? Don't know. Because Jay's right there as well, and he's pushing. He's got the DRS. DRS being active, it's just opposite of Imola, isn't it?
Yeah.
DRS being active in these conditions. And there goes Matt, he goes a bit deep. Jay on the outside, he's gone around him. And he's through into 4th. And that will be P2. And with Mikey down in 15th as well, it's not gone well at all for him. But that's going to put Jay back in the championship fight.
Oh, of course.
F. Lewis crashed 1 lap out from being classified as well.
Oh, ouch. What a race today, Roger. I've never seen the conditions quite so strange. The
2 seconds out
just seemed to hang the dry tyres for ages.
Thing is, can these two in front, Bossman and SPW, hang the tyres out to dry?
And that's Danny Boy at the moment.
Laps. Lap 21 of this race. .5 seconds is the current gap from J to SPW.
And he's doing very well to find grip on a track that looks like it has absolutely none.
He has to do 2 more laps on these tyres as well. That's a big ask. And here comes Jay. Jay looks like he's going to make an easy move on Bossman. Down to Eau Rouge. Bossman keeping him.
Oh, bit of contact.
Oh no, Jay's in
contact. No, it's a mighty hit of the wall.
Oh, that's a hard one. There, one of them should have backed out. You never make that work through Eau Rouge. Too wide.
No, not in the conditions.
And Matty, this is putting him back into play for second here. And he's going to come through. Oh, he's making contact with Bossman as well. Bossman keeping her on the outside, but he can't. And Matty's through into third place. And 1.5 seconds he just needs to gain. No, make that a second. Make that under a second. No, actually no, never mind. He had a poor run through there. But the next few corners it'll be under a second. He just needs to get on SPW, and SPW I think he'll be ready to defend even in these tyres.
And he's only going to have one more lap to do, Jensen. Can he bring a podium home? Ryan Sam doing a good job. I think SPW on a 13 lap on medium, Bossman as well. It's a very, very strong effort to
noble drive so far.
Yeah, get the tyre
There
on.
comes Matty. Matty. And oh, this is going to be interesting how this plays out. And Nick's around, it looks like.
SPW needs not to fight it though, because
Oh,
he knows
SPW's
he's
gone
going to get
deep.
P2 points anyway. Matty
But here they go.
easily. He's got the DRS.
It's a drag race.
This is pretty good for
yeah,
SPW if he
Matty
can
gets
stay
it.
here and get a bit of DRS up this back, the Kemmel Straight. This last lap is
And there's Mick. Can Mick get him? Well, Mick still has a 3-second penalty as well, so yeah, SPW is looking very, very safe for third if he could just get the car to the end. And Bossman's lost his front wing.
Oh, and he'll tumble down the order now.
Oh.
100%.
Lost his front wing and is on the medium tyres. It's not a very nice experience for him. But yeah, it's all shuffled about, and Danny Boy's now in this moment as he's starting the final lap. He's tried to carry on, but Ryan Sam is looking to cruise to victory on the soft tyres, and it looks like he's been gaining the gap still on the Inters drivers.
He's been very good today, Ryan. And the defending
in the Mercedes. Yeah, defending champion of Realistic, and he's going to come to take his second win of the season, to add on to the Spain win he got earlier this season. There we go. Ryan is coming around the final corner, taking it easy, and he cruises to a massive victory. 26-second gap to Matty, and it looks like the track is drying up again a little bit. I don't know, it doesn't look very wet anymore. It looks very drier when I'm on board with SPW.
One more lap, it could have got very interesting again. But
yeah,
Matty
and it was
P2.
drying up. And Matty takes second, SPW will take third. Mick, he will take the P3 in the end. And the results total fruit.
P4? Why, yeah, P4. P5 for Matoman, that was a good recovery for Matoman as well. Rob Wills will be P6.
Well done to Ranger as well.
Yeah.
Even with all his issues he had, he's come to finish in what would be 10th.
So Ryan, Sam, SPW and Mick, the top
I don't know if
three.
it'll be. I
No,
don't
Jay.
know if that's 11th. I'm not. I think he might have had a timing glitch, Ranger, possibly. 'Cause he only had one more penalty than some other guys, but somehow fell further down. Get that corrected.
So get the guys in for a chat. I'll let Jensen, I'll make sure I get the screen. Soft, yeah, it's really, really tough choices there, Nick. That was the craziest strategy race I've ever seen. It was very strange. SPW done a hell of a job. Driver of the day, Nick. So, our top three. GG's to Matty, of course, stepping in that reserve seat to bring home a P2. But the top three on the points will be Ryan, Sam, SPW and Mick. And I think after the week, Mick's had to be very happy to get P3. So I'll get the three guys in for a chat. Once I find them. So I have to get... Who have I get? Ryan, Sam, SPW and Mick. Get them in for a little chat and a very intriguing race. I'll be interested to see the drivers taking that and just exactly how it felt for the car, because it looked like there was some tough choices to be made.
Did you get the results, Chris?
Yeah, well, I think so. I think I made sure
I'm
it was
just
on
gonna,
the screen.
I'm just gonna save recent gameplay. I should get them, most of them.
Right, okay. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. Ryan, are you here, sir? Did you join now?
Hello.
Good evening. We will start with yourself, the defending realistic champion, although under a different name banner, but you're still the defending champion. And you showed today why you were. That was a very good display in some very interesting and tricky conditions.
Yes. I wasn't too sure to go inters or softs, so...
I think a lot of drivers had that kind of pondering moment. Some went very early to the inters and it was just not the play. Some went when it looked right, but it still wasn't right. But the soft tyres seemed to just get you through that wet stint exactly how you needed it to get you through. It seemed to be the right call in the end.
Yeah. Very happy.
So, of course, that means, of course, you go into next week and you go into that white poo box. And I think, where do we go next week, Jensen? You know the calendar.
Monza sprint race. Yep.
So a sprint race, so opportunities, always in the sprint, to get the lower performing cars into a good position. Can we see you maybe show your skill once more?
Can I try?
It's never easy in the house, but very good job today in the race win, Ryan. You were
Thank you.
dominant. It's very good stuff. SPW.
Chris.
Good evening, sir. That was interesting. You did not have to make that easy for yourself. You could maybe feel with the drive through, the win got away, but then Ryan Sam's pace and ending the soft, I think he was 26 seconds clear. So I even think with the drive, if you didn't get the drive through, I think it would have still been very hard. But what a job you done in the mediums at the end.
Thought there would have been a chance I could have kept him behind, but the way that, I don't know who the McLaren was, he just drove around outside of me in the last corner when he was on Inter, sort of said it was the mediums were sort of dying in the conditions when it was up the crossover, so I don't know, I just sort of, I maybe could have held whoever was in the lead behind, but I got the drive through because it was 0.05.
Oh yeah.
And I was only because I slid off. I just understeered into the corner because it was damp. I got it. Then the mediums felt fine. It was never ready for enters, apart from you would probably say the last 2 laps. It was ready for enters, but it wasn't horrific. You could still drive on it. So.
And Jensen was saying coming up to the end of the race, of the last lap, was the track drying again at the end?
For me, not really to like the last sector before the. I think I just after the put on, I started to dry, but it was too late to get the V2. But
it was a very valiant effort, SPW, to hang the mediums out in the conditions, and a tyre that was well into the depth of its stint as well when the conditions hit. Yeah, you should be very happy, I think, today.
Yeah, I thought I drove quite well in the medium. In the soft, I was really struggling. All the medium runners dropped me. sort of me and Lewis were sort of taking attempts out of each other. He would gain a 10th, I would lose a 10th, something like that. But and then the mediums, I was driving well in the mediums. The front two weren't really getting away, and then I think I was a bit better in the wet conditions. Just I don't want to say it's unlucky for the drive-through, but I don't really understand how you can be minus your delta by so little and get a drive-through for it. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it is a rough one. But anyways, SPW still P2. Some good gains on the guys in front of you in the championship.
Why is it P2, Mr. Alien?
Why? Because Matty is a reserve.
Oh,
So
right,
you
okay.
finished P2.
Who won? Matty did? Or I get confused.
Ryan Sam won.
Oh,
Matty was
well
P2,
done.
you were P3.
Well done, Mr. Ryan Sam.
But well done to you, SPW. A very valiant P2 drive. And very well managed. So good job, sir.
Thanks very much, Alien.
Mick, are you here?
Yes, mate, I'm here.
P3 in the end, Mick. It was, again, quite an interesting race. I'd love to say that I know more of what happened in your race specifically, but I genuinely don't. So how was it for you?
Yeah, like SB, I had a good start. I think I qualified 5th or 6th. I had a good start, and then start of sector 2, my car was just all over the place on the softs. I think I ended up down in 14th or 15th. And yeah, I was just tried to battle back. Just made sure I stayed within a second of the car in front to keep getting DRS. Pitted on lap 6 for the hards, and then just tried to go all the way to the end.
So when did you go to the Inter tyres, Mick? What lap?
I wasn't going to go. I was going all the way to the end, even if it would have got stronger. But I just took advantage of the virtual safety car because I was sliding a little bit because I was on the hards. Trying to keep them up to temperature was pretty difficult in the mixed conditions. But yeah, I think I went. I boxed underneath the virtual safety car.
And I think that gave you quite a nice window then on the intermediate tyres to really make a push at the end.
Yeah, I think I had Bossman in front of me with the same penalty, and I think he had an accident coming out of El Rouge and Radion. And then, I just tried to keep it on the track. I see I had a 3-second behind. JN Tex was behind me, catching me. But yeah, I just tried to. I had loads of ERS in the tank as well. I think I had crossed the line still with 60%. So yeah, I was alright.
So very good job, Mick. P3 points. Of course,
cheers,
it
mate.
kind of hammers you next time it's still a podium. And anybody that got a good result in the kind of crossover conditions where the track just wasn't really sure where it wanted to be, I think it's a very good effort. So good job today, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Chris. Thanks, mate. Well done, Ryan Sam. Well done, Stephen.
Well done, Mick.
And you guys.
Jensen, do you have anything for the gentlemen's?
No.
Oh, what a boring man.
So before we wrap up for the day, Jensen, there is one call to make, and that is driver of the day. And it's a tricky one.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest.
Wow.
I mean, SPW kept out on the mediums and it seemed to work. I mean, I would have gave it to him, but he did pick up a drive-through. So, that is pretty poor from our resident Northern Irishman. But yeah, I think, Ryan Sam did really well. I don't know, I don't know what else to say about it. You can pick, Chris.
No.
SPW can't shut up.
So I think there's a few. It's one of the races where I feel like 4 or 5 drivers could definitely have got it. There was some great that SPW still managing to cover off a drive-through and finish P2. I think it's notable. Mick and Ryan both made the most of the conditions. Ryan got his strategy spot on. Matterman spun twice in the first 7 laps and was absolutely nowhere and somehow still finished, I think, in the top 6. I think
Ranger.
That's a very, very good drive. Ranger recovered really well after a lot of incidents, so it's a tough one. But I think, just off the run of form, I think Ryan Sam would be quite deserving of it. to stay in the softs and then pull nearly a 30-second gap in the end. I think it's very worth it. So I would say Ryan, Sam.
Pardon, Ryan, Sam?
Yeah, without
Thank
mate.
you very much.
In the SPW, go to bed crying. Right.
Yeah.
On that note, guys, we will be back on Sunday now with P0. Well done to Ryan, to Stephen, and to Mick. Thank you, Jensen, as always, and we will see you soon.